watching Rogers TV. Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. Oh my goodness, what a great show. A reminder, by the way, we have our Mother's Day contest going on. I will tell you all about it at the end of the show, but we're going to kick off the show talking about Filipino Restaurant Month. The entire month of April, it's being celebrated across Canada, including right here in Ottawa. And boy, oh boy, we have some special guests on the show today. Her Excellency Maria Andrelita Austria, the Philippine Ambassador to Canada. Welcome, Ambassador. Great to have you here.
Good afternoon, David.
And David Vinoya is the executive chef at Tulip Ottawa. Welcome, David. Great to have you here as well. We had to have you because if we're talking restaurants and we're talking Filipino cuisine, we needed to have a great chef like yourself. But before we get to you, Ambassador, tell us a little bit, for those that aren't familiar with the Philippines, how would you describe it to people?
It's 7,107 wonderful islands.
7,107.
Wonderful islands.
You were talking to me a little bit earlier of what makes it such a special place to visit. Let's talk a little bit about that.
First, here in Canada, there's over 1 million people who live and work in Canada. 1 million Filipinos who live and work in Canada. So I'm sure many of them have shared with you a Philippine experience. The place where we come from is in the heart of Asia. We have a history that's both European and American.
Right.
So the people come from a mix of cultures. So our tradition, our history is also a perfect blend of those two cultures.
Well, a big part of the culture, David, is the food. You're going to prepare something traditional for us here today, right?
Yes.
What are you making for us?
So I'm making a biscuit Tagalog, and that's actually part of the Central, and every other provinces in the Philippines have their own versions of it.
Okay.
But for now, we're going to make some simplest way to make the biscuit Tagalog so that everyone in the house can, do their own thing.
Very nice. Okay, well, let's get started.
Yes.
What have you got here for us?
So pretty much like us in the restaurants at Tulip, we use the beef cheek. So part of the cheek is more tender and more like juicy, actually. So basically, we have to marinate the beef first, such as we put a little bit of soy sauce, but making sure that you use the very light soy sauce, or else you ended up like too salty.
Right.
So now the most highlighted is the citrus. So back in the Philippines, we do have those little tiny ones. We call it calamansi.
Okay.
It's a green lime, which is in North America, but us, it's too tiny, but so strong.
Okay.
So just put a little bit of it here and add some garlic.
Okay.
And also some pepper, and then you massage it like it's Philippine massage.
I love it. Ambassador, have you prepared this dish before yourself as well?
No Filipino has not prepared this dish. It's a traditional Filipino dish.
Very nice. Let's talk about the celebration. Why was it important to have this celebration across the country?
April in the Philippines is Filipino Food Month.
Okay.
And our part of that celebration is to make sure more people understand and know Filipino food. Our goal really is to make Filipino food as familiar as your Filipino coworker or neighbor.
Nice. And part of the celebration, too, if you visit one of the restaurants, there are two here in Ottawa, there's a chance to win, some local and national prizes, is that right?
There are many prizes up at stake, including flights. There are local flights, there are hotel stays, and of course, vouchers to sample more Filipino food in the various participating restaurants.
Excellent. David, what have you got over? Okay, you've got this marinade. Now, how long would you normally marinate this for?
Well, for sure, to make it more delicious, 24 hours.
Okay.
So if you're in a hurry, 20 minutes.
Gotcha.
So that's the only thing. So now we're gonna make we're gonna brown the meat just to give the flavor at the same time. Also all the stuff together inside.
Could you grill this on the barbecue as well?
It's more like smoky flavor for sure, definitely. But originally in the Philippines, the biscuit Tagalog is sliced and too thin, so much more faster.
Okay.
But for now, I'm making a different versions of myself, which is a little bit upscale.
Okay.
So this is just browning each side. So same procedure with the with the skin. I would say thin slice of beef.
Yeah.
Same procedure. Okay. So now, right after this, just a browning. Wait until that. Okay. And then once it gets brown all together, so basically what we're gonna do is just to remove piece of beef right on the pan.
Okay.
Then, now we can just start sauteing. The most important one, which is the onions and the garlic.
All right.
So, for me personally also, I do love lots of onions in this kind of dish to give like more different, you know, vibe in it.
Nice.
Plus, for sure, we always like put garlic in every other dishes because, you know, so good.
Well, yeah, well, many cultures do, right?
Yeah,
Garlic
yeah,
is kind of the go-to for so many cultures. Ambassador, I want to go back to you for a moment because you and I was saying to you that I just got certified scuba diving last year. My wife has been certified for, since like 1986 or something like that. So I thought it was finally time for me to do it. You said if you love snorkeling and scuba diving, Philippines is one of the best places in the world, right?
The Philippines sits right on the Coral Triangle, which is the most diverse in terms of marine life. So in like a small area, you can have about 600 different species. So if you want to see the best marine life, corals and fishes, come to the Philippines.
All right, you have me sold. So now what did you just add here, David?
So now, after all of sauteing together, I just used the soy sauce and also the calamansi juice together, and we'll let it simmer. And right after that, you just like add some little bit sugar in it and another pepper.
Okay.
Just to give it like a taste. Then for me, what I usually do is just I wanted to make sure that this one comes with the process of your meat. They'll be like cooking in that sense. So you have to make it sure that
So you
cover
brown
up
it first and then add it back in.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And then you cover it and then wait until it gets like, you know, reduced by half, and then after that, ready to serve. I
Okay.
do have also the presets samples of it.
Nice.
I already pre-cooked.
Okay.
But in the restaurants, we do have, like as I mentioned earlier, it's a beef cheek. So basically, we instead of like braising and at the same time putting all this process, we use it like a sous vide style.
Okay.
But same flavor
Right.
of my tradition back home. So I don't want it like to compromise, right? Just like want to upscale a little bit. So now, as a Canadian, instead of rice, we incorporated the potatoes.
Okay. Nice, nice.
So it's a beef and potato.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So basically, we just like put like 3 pieces of potatoes, and then some garnishes such as like asparagus. And
I
then,
love watching chefs do their thing. Like at home, you know, my potatoes would just be all over the place. Throw the asparagus on the other side and off you go. But look at you. You're an artiste.
Oh, merci. So next is the
And you can see
beef
the nice
cheek.
reduction, right? With the
Yes.
sauce, how it comes nice and thick at the end. Looks beautiful.
Yes. And then right after that, it's just a little bit of sauce on top.
Okay. While he finishes this off, Ambassador, I want to talk about too, like you were also mentioning just the environment, right? You compared it to British Columbia, right?
Yes, in the Philippines, if you want to go from a mountaintop to the lake or a sea, you can do that in a matter of minutes. It's like British Columbia in Asia
Nice.
with a tropical flavor.
Right, because the weather is quite nice year-round, right?
It's very nice year-round.
Nice.
Never too cold.
I know, I asked the ambassador what she thought of Ottawa. She's like, well, you know, the summer's nice and I like the fall. Not quite in the winter yet. Ambassador, really appreciate you taking the time to come and visit us. Thank you so much.
We're very happy, and we hope we see you in one of our restaurants.
Yes, absolutely. Tamas Cafe in Sanduke, and of course, with David here at Tulip Restaurant, located, by the way, in the Hilton, Ottawa. For those of you, please pay David and his team a visit. They do a great job down there. David, thank you as well for joining us. Really appreciate it. We'll be back with more right after this.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
This guy's just absolutely dynamic when it comes to putting the puck in.
This guy, something else. Here comes the 67th. Wow. And now the Rangers are away.
His acceleration's off the charts.
That's a player that all eyes in the NHL are going to be on tonight.
You are not going to sit there and tell me that this guy is not going to be a future NHLer. This kid is something special.
the OHL playoffs on Rogers TV.
Boom, 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 boom. $20. $20. Hi guys, it's Maggie, Mrs. Calabash and Derek, and whoa, we're back. Rogers Television, so please watch us on Rogers Television. We've just done our first show. It was Anytime Shrimp Special and an Asian salad. So please remember, Rogers Television, Mrs. Calabash cooks. I'll see you guys.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to RogersTV.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at RogersTV.com.
Welcome back to the show. Well, back with a familiar face here on the show, and I cannot wait to discuss a little bit of fashion with her. But we're going to start with a little something different to start, because I want to talk about this beautiful suit I'm wearing. Mary Lou Moll's back on the show. How are you?
I'm very good. And
You're always good.
I know you can't wait to talk about it, because I believe both of us are wearing head to toe RW and Co.
RW and Co. You know, it's my favorite place to go. I've been going there for, a decade now. And we're going to talk about, you brought some other things,
yes.
but...
Oh my God, yes.
I know.
I can't wait to get to this. But before...
You wanted to talk hair care to start, right?
Every time we come, we talk about hair care. And this time, let's talk about some problems that's a little bit more serious than just healthy, shiny hair.
Okay.
And that's hair damage, hair loss, hair breakage. And it's something that a lot of folks are actually experiencing. And we have some beautiful products here from Vichy.
Okay.
We had them last time for
I
skincare.
remember.
But if you didn't know, they actually have a fantastic hair collection as well. And this one in particular is exactly for hair loss. And this is a small vial. If you open it, I actually have been using it already. And that's why some of them are missing. So you put this on top of the nozzle, and then you apply it to your roots all the way to the tip.
And it helps with growth.
And it helps with growth. It helps strengthen. It helps, healthier scalp means healthier hair. Because it really starts from the top. But you know what? You don't really have to spend a lot on hair care, because some of the things that you can do, you can just do something at home. It's all about basic daily hair care, right?
Right.
If you look at that scalp massager, have you tried one before?
No.
Oh my God. You just massage your scalp like
I don't know if I should do it on the show,
minutes.
you know?
Isn't that so relaxing?
That's quite nice, yeah.
Yeah, so you can just
like
hair
that.
oil. This is actually any oil. You could do rosemary oil, castor oil, jojoba oil, and it promotes healthy hair.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got some strengthening from Durka's line from Vichy as well.
Yeah.
And this is ultra soothing, because you gotta sometimes you detox everything, but you also gotta detox the hair.
100%. And people forget about that, right?
People forget about that.
And anything you put on your hair as well, right? It goes in. Right?
Definitely.
Same with skincare. That's why you got to be very careful with what you choose.
And do remember, you can also just do the healing from within. It's about the diet. It's about everything coming together, working out. Just move every day.
I agree.
Hydration.
100%.
Yes.
Let's talk about what you brought here.
Okay. Well, let's talk about you.
Well, let me tell you. This, by the way, okay, let me just step out here, because
here's a fashion show.
No, but men's fashion has come so far, right? Men, don't be afraid to do something with color. Don't be afraid to do something light, right? Men used to have what? A navy suit, a white shirt, and black. That's it, right?
And now we're doing that here.
Yeah.
This is one of Eric's pick, and that's your pick.
Yeah.
I believe the beautiful thing is that they're back at the Rideau Center. You can find RW all over the city, of course, and you can get these online. But just check out these colors. These scream spring.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't fling with this, like, what's even the spring?
100%.
Right? It's kind of warmer, but it's still drizzle. So you need that coat.
That is beautiful.
How gorgeous. Touch it.
Yeah. It's absolutely
double-breasted trench coat, of course.
And it's getting, I know the good weather's here, but it's still getting cold in the evenings, right? If you're going to an event or something, you still need to throw something on.
You have your fancy galas. You always have the invites. Ooh, but of course, I'm also wearing one. This is the double-breasted.
I love that. And then
that
the
color.
men has something similar in that color too right now, right?
That's right. So, you know, updating your spring wardrobe, it doesn't mean that you have to rehaul everything.
Agreed.
You can just mix and match, get some few pieces that are new. I have some basic here that are top, but you already have something like this at home. So you just get pieces that are signature pieces. One of my favorite is this.
Yeah, that is
of course.
sharp.
It's like
Really
a tuxedo
nice.
blazer that you can wear when the weather is a little bit warmer.
Something you've never talked about on the show before we're going to talk
time.
about now is dental.
Yes. So
right?
one of the things, so this segment is all about glowing up, right? From hair care to skincare to fashion, your style. But dental care is one of the things that actually ages a person. When you've got non-healthy teeth and yellowish, it's not white. And that's why it's so important to have regular daily regimen for your teeth, from glossing, from flossing, and whitening. You can go to, I believe we have from Fabella Medical.
Yeah,
Hygiene.
tell me about this.
Yes.
You found out about them. What makes them so unique compared to other dentists?
What makes it, the passion, the compassion for the clients, for the patients. They really listen to your need. When you come in and say, you know what, I'm feeling this way, they take a little bit more time. Not just like clean your teeth and then there's out.
Yeah,
out
I mean, because it's a relationship. Right?
That's right.
It's like anything, if your doctor, family physician, your dentist, it should be that same type of relationship.
Absolutely should be,
right?
because this is so personal to you and to your family. So Marianne Fabella, she just opened this brand new Fabella Hygiene Clinic on Center Point. So it's very, very close to a lot of the West End locations.
Yeah,
You've got Algonquin, you've got the City Hall, and it's for kids, for adults, for the whole family. They're very flexible. They have evening hours. They have weekends even, because you're a busy man. You can't just go on a Monday.
I can't just go in anytime.
Just go and do your dentist. So there, and right now when you come in, she's offering free whitening forever.
Forever. For all new clients.
For
Amazing.
all the new clients, come in, you get your cleaning done, and then you can avail of. Did you see my spinning?
I know. Where did they lend this to you? This is yours?
I borrowed the teeth, but the spinning thing is mine.
Okay. So the teeth aren't yours, the spinner's yours.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, as a lifestyle fashion blogger, you need to have these fancy things, right?
You gotta level up, because it's about leveling up this year.
Now, be honest. Are you a good flosser?
I am.
Are you?
She said I surpass.
You got the thumbs, the two thumbs up. You got the 5-star treatment there too.
She actually sent me home with new toothbrush and new floss.
Very, very nice.
Apparently, that's the price you get when you're doing dental care really well. More of it.
I want to mention very quickly too, because you brought along some extras here from RW & Co. Right? They do have some accessories.
Oh my God, they do. And if you can't do like a wardrobe.
From there too?
Oh my! Look at you.
Look at this.
Yes, they have sunglasses.
I'm ready to go to the Philippines and sit on a beach.
Belts.
Right?
Actually, this is Philippine ready.
I think you 100% for the clubs, right? They have some amazing clubs. I was telling the ambassador, I did my research.
Oh, tell the ambassador
hiking
come back.
And snorkeling and scuba diving and I mean, you name it, right?
I think you should do the winter escapade with the ambassador next year.
I think so.
With
I think
Monica
that's a great.
And you will absolutely love
100%.
it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. And thank you, the ambassador.
Look at that style.
Stayed just to watch you. You know that, right? We'll be back with more right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Think it's okay to drive high? Think again. Drug-impaired driving is as illegal as drunk driving, and in Ontario, the penalties are the same. If police suspect you're driving under the influence of drugs of any kind, or a combination of drugs and alcohol, and you fail a roadside test, your license will be suspended immediately for up to 30 days. You'll pay a penalty of $198. And you can be charged with a criminal offense of impaired driving, the same as alcohol. Driving high is never okay.
My Uncle Cheney was one of over 150,000 Indigenous children that were taken to residential schools between the 1800s and 1996. My uncle ran away from school wanting to get home to his mom and dad, and sadly he didn't make it and died of exposure. When Gord Downey found out about my late Uncle Cheney's story, he wrote Secret Path, a series of poems that became an album, then a graphic novel, a documentary, and a concert. Gord met my family, and together we formed the Gord Downey and Cheney Winjack Fund. Together, we are sharing Secret Path and other reconciliation resources with legacy schools, setting up legacy spaces across Canada, and hosting events like Secret Path Week to inspire all Canadians to engage in reconciliation. Before he left us, Gord asked us all to do something.
You're going to figure it out.
Will you join us? Together, we can make Canada a better place.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. I've been anticipating this next segment for quite some time because food waste, I guarantee you in your household, you're probably trying your best, but we can all do better. And this is a great initiative. It's called Food Sharing Ottawa. Here to tell us more about it, I'm joined by Caroline Wilcox. She's the communications lead. Welcome. Great to have you here, Caroline.
Great
and
to
Wendy
be here.
Long is the executive director of Food Sharing. Welcome to you as well, Wendy. Real pleasure. Tell me about the inspiration behind this, Wendy.
So Food Sharing Ottawa was founded back in 2015 actually, and then we became official as a nonprofit in 2019 with the mission of reducing the amount of food that gets thrown away.
Yeah, and let's talk, I mean, you sent me some statistics, but let's talk a little bit about the waste that we see just here in this country.
Well, we, in general, I mean, just so that viewers can relate a little bit more, I mean, of all the food waste that we see, actually close to half of them is actually coming from households.
Really?
It's quite impressive. I mean, even we do rescues for quite a few years now, too, and then it's impressive to see this number.
Yeah, and what is it? Something like 60% is avoidable? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the studies have shown that of the amount that is wasted, 60% is completely avoidable and preventable.
And Caroline, that means as well, there's a cost to this as well, right? To the average household.
The latest studies have shown that on a yearly basis, it costs households up to $1,300 a year just in the amount of food that they waste.
So Wendy, where does Food Sharing Ottawa come in then? What is your purpose exactly?
So we work close with the community in different ways. We actually do work with food businesses, so we actually rescue their surplus food. We don't talk about food waste because food waste means food is not edible.
Right.
So we actually rescue their surplus food. We've been doing that for all these years and give it back to the community. So that's one big role that we play as part of the organizations. But the other piece that we do as well is to encourage households to not waste that food. We actually created our own Facebook group called Share, Don't Toss It.
Okay.
It's really meant to empower the community. Don't throw out things that might be expired in your pantry. Post it. It's edible. It's maybe past best before date, but it's totally edible. And we have a huge community, over 4,000 people now.
Yeah, what do my brother and I, we always say best before, not bad after, right, Caroline? And I mean, is that part of the issue too, is how we label things in this country?
That is certainly something that we're very concerned with, is the misconceptions out there about what is the difference between best before and expiry dates. In Canada, best before dates are actually only required for foods that are shelf stable for only 90 days. So everything else is done on a voluntary basis by food producers. And best before dates are meant to indicate quality of food, not necessarily the safety of food. So whereas as long as you've stored it and handled it properly, there are many products that last well beyond the best before date. And as such, we should be making sure that that's not thrown away unnecessarily.
Wendy, I can guarantee that many people watching the show right now aren't familiar with Food Sharing Ottawa. So there's an educational piece that you provide as well. How are you able to sort of promote yourselves and reach out to more individuals?
Right. Well, first of all, social media. That's the first piece. We put a lot of efforts on it to make sure people understand what they can do. Like if you go on a social page, you'll get to see all these various tips that we provide on a daily, monthly basis in terms of what we can, people can do, or even buy locals. Simple as that too.
Yeah.
And also we do outreach. We go to communities to do outreach work. We deliver workshops too in different neighborhoods in the city, at schools. It's fascinating to see kids loving to learn about this. It means a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. Caroline, you obviously, you're looking for like-minded people, right? You're looking for volunteers to help, but funding as well, it must be important for you to, be able to spread the news. How do you get your funding at this time?
At this time, it's mainly through donations and through applications to grant programs that are available at various levels of government. So in the past, we've received grants at the city level and the provincial level as well. But certainly, we'd love to see the community come out and help us be able to deliver on the food sharing and the educational programs that we'd love to have.
Well, that brings me to the benefit concert you have coming up. Before we give the details of that, I'm going to ask them to roll the video because you have an amazing choir that's going to be performing. Here's a little taste of that choir for you at home. No, we don't have the video? Okay, sorry. Hey, welcome to live television. Caroline, tell us about this benefit concert and how people can get involved.
Yes, serendipity would have it that I know one of the members on the choir through golfing.
Okay.
So one of our rounds, we started talking, and I started telling her about Food Sharing Ottawa, and she said, "Yes, I sing in a choir that puts on concerts to benefit different charitable and nonprofit organizations." So I said, "Hey, why don't we try and work together?" So Big Soul Project has been wonderful in supporting us and helping us through the process of actually putting on a benefit concert. Nice. So this Saturday at 7:30, we're going to be presenting Big Soul Project Community Choir at the Trinity Anglican Church on Bank Street. And it's going to be an evening of very joyful and soulful music.
Nice.
I'm absolutely thrilled that we could pull this together, and I'm hoping the community can come out and support the cause as well as the Big Soul Community Project. They're led by an amazing music director.
Yeah.
And
we've had representatives on the show in the past, and if you've never seen them live in concert, they are a must-see. They're absolutely fantastic. If people want to get tickets or get involved just in general, Wendy, where's the best place to go?
Well, we have
an Eventbrite. Yeah, we have an Eventbrite. The QR code. But we have a site set up on Eventbrite. You can get tickets there. And if the show isn't sold out, and we're hoping it will be sold out, tickets will be available at the door.
Fantastic. Foodsharingottawa.com as well to find out more information. We'll be back right after this. We know how amazing moms are, and just in time for Mother's Day, here's an opportunity to tell us how great she is and make her eligible to receive an exclusive makeover package. Just send us a few sentences telling us why your mom is so special and why she deserves a free professional makeover. The winner will receive an incredible makeover prize pack consisting of makeup and hair care services courtesy of Bruno Racine's Salon and L.A. Barrett. They have both worked with some of the biggest stars in North America.
Join me, holistic chef Daniela Croco, for season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, right here on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Sam LaPrade. I want you to join me next time for an hour to give, because you're going to get to meet this great guy, Caden. He's participating in the CN Cycle for CHEO, and you'll want to as well. Join us then.
Hello, I'm Liz Dowdswell, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. In 2008, carbon monoxide, a deadly invisible gas, killed an entire family in our province. That tragedy led to a new law requiring homes with potential CO sources to have alarms. John Gignac's family members passed away that day, and he shares his story to save others.
Please make sure you have working CO alarms in your home. Protect your family today.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. I want you to just think for a moment as we're having this conversation, try to think about what kind of leader are you, or what kind of leader would you like to be? Are you that leader that is compassionate, that's understanding? Well, my next guest is one of those leaders, and she's written a wonderful book that shares a lot of great information. It is called Embracing Ambition. Author Jenny Mitchell joins me. She's also the founder and CEO of Chavender. Welcome. Great to have you here, Jenny.
Delighted to be here.
Tell me about the inspiration behind this book. I imagine that you have been living in the corporate world for quite some time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I cut my teeth in not-for-profit, worked in corporate along the way, and kept running across the same challenge, which was not having enough role models yet, I might add, for compassion and ambitious women in combination. And so that's really one of the impetuses for this book, is to share more of those stories.
So there's the challenge then. Can those two things coexist between each other? Because I think there's the traditional thought of, if you're ambitious, you're probably not compassionate, or you can't be. Yep. You're saying, I imagine in this case, that's not true.
I would even say it's a superpower. I would say that it's an important part. I think the challenges that women in leadership encounter is that we don't have a lot of role models, a lot of samples to go by. And if I think of in the last couple of years, on the big stage, we've had Angela Merkel, we've had Hillary Clinton, but they're very stereotypically masculine energy women, which means they're electable, to be perfectly honest. Right. And so the paradigm that I'd like to bring to the world, and through these stories that I've compiled in this book, is yes, you can be ambitious and compassionate at the same time. And there are certain things and techniques that you can incorporate into your leadership style to make this effective, Derek, because we're still talking about, in Canada, 4% of Canadian CEOs are women. 4%.
4%. That's where we sit still. That number. That's you think you're making strides, right? And there's not a lot that's happened.
Derek, let's also say, to be honest to our BIPOC community, that if you disaggregate that again, 1.6% of that is women of visible minorities, Black identifying Indigenous communities, or transgender, or let's add in our LGBTQs. So there's a lot of work to be done here.
No kidding. You mentioned a couple of times, Jenny, stories in this book. So tell me how the book is constructed exactly.
Well, thank you for that, because this is something I'm really proud of. When I went to write this book, I thought, well, what would it be like for me to only write from my opinion?
Right.
I mean, that's great. I mean, I like my opinion and everything, but there's got to be a way to fill out this whole experience that I'm having. And so I brought into the fold 11 other women CEOs from all across North America, some of them for-profit, some of them from not-for-profit, one of them runs a Crown Corporation here in Canada, and to fill out the lived experiences of women. So the book is bookended by research on women's leadership and the stories that fill them out, and they're married together in the book.
Was there any common theme within these stories? What a ridiculous question, Derek. So what was some of the what was the common one of the common themes?
So common themes. Embracing challenge was one of them. So many of the women that make it to the C-suite in their professions or in their professional worlds love a good challenge. They were women that showed up to try something they knew nothing about, stepped into the fray. So that's some great messaging for your audience to remember too. That's the try new things. Many of these women were visionary, so they saw opportunities that others couldn't see, and they could bring people along into a future that was not yet possible for everyone else. On the dark side, of course, we have the perception barriers. Some people call that imposter syndrome. The leaders are either not seen, they're not seen from externally as being capable of leading. And I'll also add internally, a lot of these women, like many of my friends when I go out for drinks on Friday night with my girlfriends, am I the right person to lead? That sort of self-doubt piece coming in. I'd mention one more as well, which is the glass cliff assignment. So often, women get hired into positions of basically it's a failed case. It's an almost impossible case, whether the finances are in the shambles or the reputation, and women get their chance there, and what they do with it is up to them.
Right.
So these themes come through and weave in and out of the stories, but what I love is it's all through different voices, different perspectives, but yes, there are themes, Derek.
How do you, what advice would you give to somebody that wants to change that internal conversation that you just described, that they're, they're not the right person for the job, they're not the right leader? How do you change that perception of yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of internal work to be involved with that. I am personally an executive coach. It's something I work on with my clients. I think that I'm going to use the word self-compassion. I think that in this, and I know you're having some folks coming on later on about neurodivergency.
Yes.
So what a great segue to this idea of appreciating who you are and what you bring. And women get caught up in striving for excellence, which I'm all about, but that element of perfection, right? So that assumption that you'll never be good enough is holding so many of our women back from success and trying things. And so really one of the messages is get out of your head, try things, and then assess afterwards. And maybe one more is have great people around you. Have a team of wonderful leaders, wonderful women who celebrate you and lift you up.
I guess is the mindset too, when you try things, there's risk involved and you don't want to take that risk because it might lead to failure?
You nailed it.
That's it?
It's my first TV interview ever. I hope the next one will be easier.
This one's been going pretty good, I would say, Jenny. So what about the health implications? I'm talking, the mental health implications of not having that confidence in yourself.
Yeah, I thank you for bringing that up. So I think that when you're in a paradigm when you are the underdog candidate, when everybody's expecting you to fail, including possibly yourself, there is a huge toll on your body. So what do? You overperform, you overdeliver, you start to micromanage. It is incredibly exhausting.
It almost is that, and I see it on LinkedIn often, this philosophy of, work yourself to death. Right, to get to where you want to be instead of trying to find that perfect balance, which is extremely, extremely important. Just running out of time here. Okay. You've got your book launch coming up on May 7th, right, at 95 Clegg Street. If you want at home to register for that, info at Chavender, like lavender, .com is the place to go. Again, 5 to 7:30 p.m. We'll be back with more right after this.
This is a man's heart, a heart in desperate need of medical attention. But because 78% of Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, he may not get the help he needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
I'm a singer-songwriter from Six Nations, and I've been writing songs about my experience, and with that being said, it's helped me hold hope in my heart in following my dreams and being resilient to everyday Indigenous battles.
Competition between spirit, earth, and wind, let me tell you now.
This song in particular, The Shiner, is a special song that I wrote for my grandfather. He was a snow snake maker, and that is a Haudenosaunee winter sport. It's my job to educate and to share, and the music allows me to do that. He'll be shining snow snakes and mud cats to the end of his days.
Join us for season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. I should have had Jenny co-host with me because she set up my next my next topic perfectly, talking about those that are neurodivergent and how we can make them feel more welcome in all of our spaces, whether that's the workplace or whether that's a social gathering and whatnot. Here to talk more about it and about a fantastic conference coming up, I'm joined by Rebecca Rafus. She's a registered psychotherapist with Limestone Psychotherapy and Divers X. Welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you back here, Rebecca.
Love being back.
And Matthew Bell, who's with Peer Support. Welcome, Matthew. Great to have you here as well.
Great to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Rebecca, you've been on the show before, but I always don't assume that everybody watching has already met Rebecca. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your background.
Sure. So I work as a registered psychotherapist, as you know, and my specialty is actually working with neurodiverse population and trauma. And so although I do a lot of one-to-one therapy for people, I actually do a lot of advocacy work, and I spend a lot of time doing a lot of social, shifting and changing of dynamics to try to really help people embrace neurodiversity. As somebody myself who's neurodiverse, I've experienced a lot of the barriers and a lot of the stigmatization that we face when it comes to being in schools, workplaces, socially, all that stuff. So it's a passion of mine to just be out there empowering other folks who just view the world differently.
How did you and Matthew connect?
Oh, great question. So Matthew and I actually were brought together through an agency that we both were connected with. He had this beautiful idea of doing something in North Grenville to really bring in meeting those gaps and really changing and shifting the dynamics of how we view neurodiversity in the workplace specifically, because he was having a lot of challenges in the workplace and getting employed and then staying employed, which is a very popular thing that happens, unfortunately. Right. And I specialize doing a lot of conference talks and speaking about the topic. So these people brought us together and said, you guys should talk. So we did. Love it. And that's where Beyond the Label came from. That's where this conference was kind of birthed from. We put two beautiful brains together. We have 2 other beautiful brains that aren't here today that are part of it as well. And we're trying to just make a difference.
Yeah, Matthew, so Rebecca mentioned some of those challenges when it comes, let's talk work in general. What have those challenges been like for you?
Oh, well, that depends. You have time to say it.
I've got time,
It can range. Social challenges, professional challenges, and everything in between. I know that most of the challenges, number one, I come up with is lack of job coaches, people who can help you get through the task of the workday. The really good ones will act as an advocate as well. So not only will they help you with the task you have to do, but can act as a mediator kind of between you and the boss or the manager and try and smooth over any difficulties, try and make sure you and the manager are on the same page, know what's expected, know what you need your support with, know what you need help with, know what you need to do, and just really kind of stuff like that can make the job a lot easier. But if you don't have that, then it's kind of up to the employer and the kind of work culture. Are they accepting? Are they not? Do they like you? Do they not? And just all that kind of stuff can either give you a really good experience or just, why did I bother?
Yeah, and Rebecca, listening to this, somebody probably listening probably thinks to themselves, let's talk about some misconceptions, because I've talked about this on the show before with another great group, Live, Work, Play, and they say, part of the issue is, the time is going to be so extensive to teach someone that's neurodivergent. Is that a misconception?
Totally.
Yeah.
Big time. There's misconceptions around cost effectiveness. Is it because they think that there's extra costs associated with employing somebody who needs accommodations or needs, some supports, extra added supports, when really we're trying to also shift how we look at that. When you're hiring somebody, how about we start at the hiring process? When you're looking at hiring somebody, how come we're not really diving into what their strengths are? Because neurodiverse people bring an upteen amount of strengths to an environment. They're detail-oriented. They can really, they're really dedicated. If they feel supported,
very loyal.
They're very loyal.
Yeah.
And so once they get trained, it's flying from there.
And incredible focus.
Yes, incredible focus, right? But they have to be passionate about it.
Yeah.
They have to feel supported doing it.
Yes.
And if they're not, then that causes a lot of avoidance. It causes a lot of, dissociating, escapism, and just lack of motivation to do the job because they don't feel seen, heard, and understood.
I see, Matthew, you're nodding. You've gone through many of these things, I imagine, that Rebecca's describing.
Yes, I have. It's a sad fact, but not a lot of employers. None of employers are aware of what it's like. Maybe they have neurodiverse workers already, but because they're masking a lot, they may not show it, or they may not tell employers ours. They just may seem a little awkward or weird. When they do have one that's openly ND, the employer may try and be supportive, especially if they're in a union job, may try and be supportive and say, okay, what do you need? How can we help you? But if they're not supportive, then it could end up looking like harassment or just pestering you, text, phone calls, why are you doing this, yelling. It depends. If they're not educated, it depends on them as a person and your fellow employees as a person too, how they treat you and how they react with you, around you, behind your back, in front of you, and it's
can be messy.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got two segments, by the way. This is the nice thing here. I've just got 30 seconds left, but I want to mention this conference that's coming up. It's a free conference, right?
It's free,
That's
yes.
incredibly important for everybody.
People.
Exactly. And we'll get the details of that. And I also want to talk to Matthew after the break about, you're living in a rural area. I imagine living in a rural area has its own unique challenges for somebody that's neurodivergent. So we'll come back with those two things in just a moment. We'll be back with both Rebecca and Matthew right after this. Don't go anywhere.
This guy's just absolutely dynamic when it comes to putting the puck in.
This guy, something else. Here comes the 67th. Wow. And now the Rangers are away.
His acceleration's off the charts.
That's a player that all eyes in the NHL are going to be on tonight.
You are not going to sit there and tell me that this guy is not going to be a future NHLer. This kid is something special.
The OHL playoffs on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Sam LaPrade, host of Ottawa Business Matters. We're going to gather here every single week and speak about business here in the capital. We're going to inspire, influence, and inform.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
As promised, we are back with Rebecca and Matthew. And right before the break, Matthew, I was saying to you, you live in a rural community. I wonder, are there unique challenges for you living in a rural community?
There are unique challenges and unique benefits to living in a rural community. I'm not sure which one you want to start off first.
You decide.
All right, we'll start at the ugly and on the good, I guess.
Okay.
The challenges are, because you're in a rural area, there is, of course, less people there. Less people means less such opportunities, less people to socialize with, so less friends, less romantic, and then because lost job opportunities means you have to drive farther out of the field to find jobs. It means you're going to need a car or a truck. And it's just, then you have to spend more on gas, especially if you have to go in town like my father does, rather than the city. And all those kinds can make living in a rural area very interesting. You become well-traveled.
Right.
But the bonuses are, because there's people there, you don't have to wear your social mask on all the time. So you can get home when, I guess, after a social event or after your work and take the mask off and just be you, either out in the woods nearby or on the creek or with your many, many animals, which most people have in the rural area.
Nice.
So you just get to de-stress, take the weight off until the next time you have to go out and put the mask back on. And I love outdoor activities too, kayaking, bike riding, outdoor sports, airsoft, soccer. All of them get you out in the air, get you active, get you exercise, and it's just improves your physical health as well as your mental health, as long as you manage that balance between meeting people and staying at home or in your little farm.
Yeah. I want to talk about the conference as well. I mentioned that before the break, Rebecca. It's called Beyond the Label Conference. Tell me a little bit about you've got some special guests coming as well that you mentioned earlier that couldn't be here. Let's talk about some of those topics.
Sure. So where do we start? The whole conference is the whole purpose of it is to put some conversations on the table that are going to challenge some of the constructs of our society that are not friendly for neurodiverse people. So the people we want participating are going to be people in decision-making, leadership, people who are, in a position of hiring, school representatives, all those types of roles who can actually make an impact on starting to shift some of these social constructs that we need to change. We have several guest speakers who are all doing this for free as well, which is beautiful. And so we have, do you want me to tell you about each person? Okay, so we have Peter Young, who's from Virtual Encounters. And he will be coming to show how to empower neurodiverse people in learning skills through VR for virtual reality, for those who don't know what VR stands for. And so he'll be showing how you, as an employer, can use the VR systems to do skills training on the job so that the person can maybe try a job out before they're actually put into it and get some familiarity with that. Then we have Lorraine Driscoll, who's coming from, she's coming to talk about the brain and gut connection and optimizing your whole body health to help you operate better as a neurodivergent person. So Better Brains is where she's coming from. She's a teacher who turned nutritionist. And so she's got a lot of experience with autism. So she's going to be a great speaker. And then we have Michelle Uyghur, who is coming to talk about navigating the workplace with unseen disabilities. And so she'll be talking about her own experience and sharing some tools for people to better understand those unseen diagnoses that people have.
Sounds absolutely wonderful.
And then we're also going to have some other fun stuff happening. We have a bias exercise we're going to be doing. We have a panel, a lunch, or we're going to have a panel discussion where we're going to have some people talking about how we can shift some of these paradigms and some of these structures. So that's going to be really cool. And then we're also going to have a showcase at lunchtime where people can, if you are watching, wherever you are, if you have a neurodiverse company yourself, and you want to showcase your business, you can also have a table for free.
Fantastic.
So again, we don't charge. We want this to be an opportunity for anybody to come. So you'll get a free lunch. And it'll be a day of learning and expanding your biases and stigmas about neurodiversity.
What a great opportunity. By the way, that's Kemptville Campus Parish Hall, which is located on the second floor of the auditorium there, on Friday, May 10th, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. So it's an all-day event. Yep. You can register by email, rebecca@diversx.ca. Matthew, last question for you before I let you go. You mentioned romantic relationships. Tell me about that challenge for you.
Well, I can imagine it's hard for a lot of people, but for those who are neurodiverse like us, it adds an extra layer of difficulty. We have a hard time as is trying to understand the normal social kind of rules, I guess, or I don't know how you'd phrase it.
Yeah, I think that's
time
well
with
said.
facial expressions, tones of voice. The two can be mixed up, so we'll often either pick up the facial or just the tone rather than two together, or we'll assume the person's angry just on the tone or expression. So when it comes to something like flirting, we may just pick up on the tone, and we assume, this person's she's been really nice, and like good customer service saves from a Walmart greeter, or from like a stranger, like, oh, this person's really nice. Okay, well, I go back to my life now, bye. Rather than pick up like, oh, she's really interested. So.
Sorry to cut. We're just running out of time, but I just wanted to, before I let you both go, thank you so much. I really appreciate you both, and I'll remind everybody about that conference as I wrap up the show. Thank you, Matthew, and thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Join me, holistic chef Daniela Croco, for season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, right here on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Sam LaPrade. I want you to join me next time for an hour to give, because you're going to get to meet this great guy, Caden. He's participating in the CN Cycle for CHEO, and you'll want to as well. Join us then.
I'll remind you about that conference in just a moment, but we also have a fantastic Mother's Day contest going on right now. Here are all the details for you at home. Oh, we don't have it? Don't have it yet? Okay. Easy. I can tell you all about it. It's our Amazing Moms Makeover Contest. We've teamed up with two wonderful people, Bruno Racine. His salon is just down the road here, and Leslie Ann Barrett. It's a full makeover for your mom. If you go to rogerstv.com/amazingmom, you can find out all the information. All you have to do is tell us how wonderful your mom is. That conference, again, Beyond the Label conference, it's happening at the Kemptville Campus Auditorium, Parish Hall. That's on the second floor. It is free. free. It's happening on Friday, May the 10th, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. To register again, you go to rebecca@diversx.ca to find out all the information on that. And don't forget, it is Filipino Restaurant Month here in Canada, right across the country. 2 wonderful participating restaurants, Tamas Cafe and Sanduk, and of course Tulip Restaurant. Executive Chef David was on the show today. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, Ottawa 67's hockey coming up tomorrow as well. We'll see you next time here on Daytime.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
And roasted the most perfectly golden brown marshmallow you'd ever seen. And the crowd went wild!
Rogers TV invites you to let your imagination roam as we present you with a new season of Ottawa Storytellers. Each week, we'll bring you a collection of original and creative stories presented for children of all ages. Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers right here on Rogers TV. We know how amazing moms are, and just in time for Mother's Day, here's an opportunity to tell us how great she is.